Our Secret Service is launching an initiative to help us identify people who may have been radicalised.
Know the Signs details dozens of indicators that a friend or family member could be planning a terror attack. As Adam Hollingworth reports, the move comes as our spy chiefs identify a new and worrying type of terrorism.
Time was when the intelligence services were never seen, never heard. But now they're loudly proclaiming your country needs you to keep an eye on those you know and, if necessary, dob them in.
Recognising a potential warning sign and then alerting NZSAS or police could be the vital piece in the puzzle that ultimately saves lives.
To that end, they're publishing a guide called Know the Signs to help us all identify potential terrorists in our midst.
To pay attention and to be alert so that if they see or hear about something that seems off, that worries them and concerns them, they might have a look at this information to say, does this indicate to me that this person is on the road to actually committing an attack?
The SIS has listed around 50 signs, from obvious ones, like writing on a weapon, as happened in Christchurch, to
a person who is really developing an us versus them worldview.
Authorities say they're usually closely monitoring 40 to 50 potential terrorists. These people used to be motivated by their white identity or by their faith. But in the past 6 months, a third group has emerged, those motivated by politics.
And so it could be the COVID measures that the government took, or it could be other policies that are interpreted as infringing on rights. And it's what I sometimes describe as a kind of hot mess of ideologies and beliefs.
I'm sorry, I'm mesmerized. I'm staring down that swirl on her forehead, and I'm not making fun of the way anyone looks. I'm just saying that if one were trying to make a diabolical villain akin to Dr. Evil of another variation, this is not far from what it would actually look like. Let's just let this play out so I can then vent some frustration for a little bit.
Fueled by conspiracy theories.
The launch of the initiative Know the Signs is an indicator that the security services know that they can't do it alone. They need the help of the public. But to some, the guide is a first step only.
How do we upskill those people in our community who are much closer to people who might be potentially radicalised and get them to understand what it is they're seeing? That's our challenge.
Adam Hollingworth, News Hub.
It's. I thought this was a joke, actually, at first. Rebecca, what was her name? Rebecca Kitteridge. I thought it was a joke. I said maybe it's from like a skit of something. I didn't see the original broadcast. It was Luke Radikowski who posted it to Twitter. He's been a very trustworthy, reliable source. New Zealand SIS releases first ever guide to help identify signs of violent extremism. The most amazing thing is you don't even need the violence anymore. You don't even need extremism anymore. You get to call anything violent extremism because it might lead somewhere. It might lead, I don't know, to protests. They called a peaceful protest a violent occupation. They called a peaceful protest racist, xenophobic, transphobic, anti-black racist, anti-Semitic, misogynistic. They call peace war. They call constitutional protest extremism. You don't even need to have broken the law to face an accusation. There doesn't need to be violence. There doesn't need to be extremism in order for it to be called violent extremism by the government itself. I have been cranky the last little while, never to the point of becoming the enemy that I'm battling 24/7. If only through peaceful speech analysis and shedding some light on the absolute corruption and hypocrisy. I saw that And I'm like, yeah, oh, what's new there? We've been doing this in Canada for the last year. What happened in Canada? Anti-authority rhetoric. A small fringe minority holding unacceptable views. They're now breaking the law. It's an occupation now. A peaceful protest is an occupation. Criticizing the government is anti-authority rhetoric. It's a small fringe minority holding unacceptable views. They will not be content until they literally criticize dissent itself. And what better way to do it? What better way to do it? If you criticize the government, I don't know what accent that is, criticize the government and the last 3 years of government abuse, and you're the abuser, and they turn themselves into the victims. The government that has imposed measures that have devastated a generation, crippled an economy, brought people to the brink of and sometimes over the precipice of self-harm ideations. If you criticize that now, and if you protest against that, you're the insurrectionist. If you criticize it, you're the IMVE. They've made up this term, IMVE, ideologically motivated violent extremism that needs not violence nor extremism in order to be floated around of a blanket term to shut people up and criminalize their very existence. It is very, very disheartening, discouraging. And, people are saying, well, that's New Zealand. New Zealand's fallen off the deep end. It's been in Canada now for the last 9 months. They were attempting to push it in the United States. The czar of disinformation, who's now registered as a foreign agent, I forget what her name is. They called her Mary Poppins or something. They tried to do it in the States. It just so happens that there's enough people pushing back in the States against it. In Canada, it looks like they're going to get away with it. Did we lose internet connection? Scary Poppins was her name. Yep, thank you. I don't know if we just lost internet connection for a second. I'm seeing one bar. But do what the government tells you, because that's courage. That is patriotism. Shut up and do what the government tells you. And who better now to be promoting this message of obedience? A man who once upon a time was the king of rock. I don't know, the king of being a rebel. F you, I won't do what you tell me. Rage Against the Machine to simp for the machine. Here we got Gene Simmons. Listen to this. I don't know when this was. Maybe Gene Simmons has come around now that he's seen everything that's gone down over the last 3 years. Back in the early days, people were terrified, and the older you were, the more terrified you were, because they literally told you, if you get this, you're going to die. Let's see what Gene Simmons has to say. I don't know when this interview is from. It's glorious.
So get over yourself. We're not concerned if you agree with it or not. We're concerned about you making us sick. So
get over yourself. Imagine he's telling that to me because he's afraid of getting sick. Get over yourself. And listen to the way that you get to a point in your life where you either have too much authority, too much money, too much fear, too much power, where you think people should be subservient to your better judgment because their judgment just doesn't count. Listen to this is Gene Simmons.
So get your goddamn COVID shot.
It's a good point.
And prevent other people from getting your stuff.
It's a good point, and we're having a debate this morning about that very thing, really. A debate about whether mask wearing should be returned to be mandatory here in the UK. Restrictions have been lifted. And I understand you even suggest people who come to your concerts wear them for their own protection.
We are doing the KISS cruise shortly, and you will not be able to get on the cruise unless you're vaccinated. Look, before you go to school, you have...
I was going to say hell. You can go to hell. Do you know what the reality is? If you want to see KISS that badly that you'll do something that defies your own principles, hey, go ahead and do it. A KISS cruise is not exactly something that I'm worried about requiring vaccination for. International travel, more of a concern. Interprovincial travel, more of a concern. Seeing this jackass on a cruise, not something I even give a sweet bugger all about. Now, that is not to say, that's not why I ever made my decision. But I can tell you, when I was asked for papers, when I was crossing my border from Quebec to a border of a province in my country, New Brunswick, and I was asked for papers, and I was told to go back to my province, register online so that I could get into another province in my own bloody country. Oh, you better damn well believe that I was enraged. Oh, no, don't get mad. Don't get mad. The government, that's IMVE. Can't criticize the government for unconstitutional charter violations, for setting up vaccination checkpoints between provinces in my own bloody country.
To have your children get the flu vaccine and the polio vaccine, and there's no discussion.
That's because they're actually vaccines with decades of proof. I wonder if long tongue, whatever this Jack and his name is, if he feels the same way now. He probably does, because he's taken his 5 boosters. He doesn't have the same risk variance as other generations younger than him. Keep jacking yourself up, but listen to the end. The pièce de la résistance.
And, what about my rights? Well, you don't have as many rights as you think. When you get up to a red light, you must stop. There's no choice. It's because it's not about you. It's about the other innocent people going by. So get over yourself. Even you get in your car, you must put on a seatbelt. Well, you're taking away my rights, and the government's telling me what to do. That's right. The government is telling you what to do. Shut up, be respectful of other people, and get a vaccine. Put on your seatbelt, stop at the red light, stop being selfish.
Because something that goes over your shoulder is quite clearly analogous, comparably speaking, to something that goes into your very body. I mean, they're just idiots. They're just idiots who have gotten, they've had their life already. They've lived a life of luxury. They've made wealth beyond anybody's wildest dreams. They've lived the good life already. They've got nothing left to lose because they don't have much left in any event. They're sort of like at the end of their roll of toilet paper, as I say. Life is like a toilet paper. It goes faster the closer you get to the end. They've made it. They've made immense wealth from the freedom that they've enjoyed for the last 70 years. I don't know how old this guy is. Now, their own fear has taken over. They want to enjoy their last days, and damn you if you get to enjoy your life. You don't have that many freedoms. Shut up and do what the government says, because right now, I got the power, I got the wealth, I've already had the freedom, and I'm not giving up that much for the rest of my days to make sure that I'm safe and feeling good. Oh, sweet crab apples! It's not a hard. I've been doing push-ups after going for jogs, so I'm a little sore. I don't feel better. But I'm. If people don't understand where we're going and they don't see it yet, and they're okay with shut up and do what the government tells you, and if you complain about it, that's ideologically motivated violent extremism. Can't criticize the government. It's dangerous. That's a little wrong think there. All right. I think I've got something else in the backdrop. We'll move into something funny in a second. Let me just get to this super chat, which came in right at the good time. People stop at red lights and stop signs because most normal people don't want to be hit. So it is self-preservation. That's a stupid analogy, Gene. It's also a stupid analogy because you don't have to. You could go through the red light, especially if no one's there, because you can assess the fact that, I don't do it, by the way, because I'm just nervous that there's cameras and cops, whatever. You can assess the risk. You think about that scene from Harold and Kumar. Was it Escape from Guantanamo Bay or Go to White Castle? It was Go to White Castle. When Kumar's in the middle of nowhere, there's a red light and he's waiting, and Harold says, "What are you doing?" He says, and then he crosses and immediately gets pulled over. You can still go through the red light. And there are circumstances in which someone will go through the red light for legitimate purposes. It's not, nothing about what he said makes any sense. He's just a fearful idiot who wants to, enjoy his remaining days, even if it comes at the expense of the future of the children who may at one point in time have idolized his music. I guess they're not children anymore. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get another one because I got to give you the standard disclaimers. Fear and control is a business as old as time. It's as old as prostitutions and lawyers. Thank you very much, Joseph. FryDog_1_each. The cruise line that Kiss cruises on has rescinded the vaccine requirement. Oh, I wonder if he might be so scared that he might not go on it anymore. Super chats and Rumble rants. Super chats, everybody. Thank you for the support. I genuinely appreciate it. Absolutely no expectations or obligations. If you want to do it, good. If you do it, know that YouTube takes 30% of each and every one of these super chats. So if you don't like that, we are or should be simultaneously streaming on Rumble. I forgot to check. We are. And Rumble has these things called Rumble rants. AB Negative just gave one $10 Rumble rant. It says, what is going to happen on January 6th at SCOTUS on the Brunson lawsuit? Will they hear arguments or just dismiss it? I believe Robert has predicted dismissal of Brunson if it's the lawsuit I'm thinking about. V6 Neon, a $1 Rumble rant. Kiss Cruise will also be known as the Mary Celeste. So, there's a bunch of Rumble rants here. Leo919 says there was a little girl who had a little curl smack in the middle of her forehead. And when she was good, she was very, very good. And when she was bad, she was horrid. So Rumble has Rumble rants. Rumble takes 20% of them. So it's better for the creator, better for the platform. Please bring up Greg Wycliffe. My name is Trudeau. We could all use a laugh song at Trudeau's expense. Okay, let me get to the super chats here. Pasha Moyer. That hair swirl also looks like a Manskin hairdo from The Wizard of Oz, perhaps less ominous, but freaky strange. No, it looks like something out of a 50s horror movie, and it's 2022. Is Trudeau invited? If Trudeau invited you into his house, would you let me in with you? Winston Shithouse. I wouldn't accept the offer. And that not out of resentment or hatred or political disdain. I don't trust Trudeau enough to not try to frame me for something. If he invites me into his house, he'll like pull a Kim Jong-un, or was it Kim Jong-il? Kim Jong-un, and like accuse me of stealing government material or something. Wouldn't accept it. Can you please run Winston in the next Canadian regional elections? The results would be hilarious. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you for the super chat. If you didn't believe the MSM is in on this, you should now. Shut up and do what the government says. But look, I promised to laugh because we don't want to. I don't want to have it all be unhappy. I don't follow soccer. I did not watch the game. I don't care to. I just happened to have caught the last 10 minutes because my kid had a play date, and I go in and they said it's what was it? 2-2. Then it was 3-2 Argentina. Then there was a penalty kick and it was 3-3 France, and then it went into shootout. I don't much like soccer, but I can appreciate that was the most exciting game ever. And not just for soccer. That might have been the most exciting game ever of any sport in the history of sports, period. I was going to make a sarcastic joke, what a boring game, and just tweet that out with no /sarcasm. But people love soccer so much, I thought that could be misinterpreted to the point where I might get, that might piss people off more than anything else I've ever done. And that'll start getting me the hate mail and the hate messages. So I didn't do it, but I was watching it. And then at one point, Hot Air McSwalwell, I said I wouldn't make fun of him for the fart joke, but I think now the time has come to make fun of him because he spews nothing but hot air. Eric Swalwell, a man who clearly lacks self-awareness and insight, tweets this out. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Oh, yes, look at this. Look at this. It's Elon Musk with Jared Kushner and a bunch of Saudis. I have no idea who they are. I don't know if they're investors in Twitter. Part of me says, Swalwell, what the heck? Are people not allowed hanging out with Saudi Arabians anymore? Is this now, if you have a picture with someone in Saudis, it's a bad thing unless someone knows who they are and they have sinister connections or something. I don't know. Part of this, says that sounds somewhat xenophobic, but I don't want to go there, Swalwell. I don't see anything wrong with having pictures with Saudis in general, unless some of these individuals, setting aside the fact that they're Saudi, which has nothing to do with anything. If they're bad people, that has nothing to do with whatever you're alluding to here. But because Eric Swalwell is an idiot, does not weigh his words, and does not appreciate, he doesn't have insight. He doesn't say, oh, look at this. How can someone flip this on me? It's an obvious joke. I think everyone with half a brain is going to get to it. You didn't think this tweet through. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Look at this. This is Eric Swalwell with, I think her name is Fang Fang. a proven Chinese spy who infiltrated a number of American politicians. Rumor is, I can't find any definitive corroboration that the relationship was slightly more than platonic. That's one picture. Here's another one. This is Eric Swalwell, who actually looks like Oz out of American Pie 1. And I believe that's Fang Fang. But don't worry, good things come in threes. Here is Eric Swalwell and Fang Fang. I believe that's Fang Fang in the red dress. Fang Fang, for those of you who don't know, a confirmed spy who infiltrated certain politicians, I think politically, spiritually, and maybe they allowed some physical infiltration as well. Apparently thinking that he got Elon Musk through this picture without realizing how much it was going to backfire on him. And I don't want to talk about the Elon Musk Twitter stuff. They bang. I'm not getting into any of these jokes in the chat, but the chat is now having a good laugh and a good joke. Let me see if I missed any rants on the rumbles. Before we get started for the evening, people, we're going to go over a little bit of the Elon Musk stuff because you can't avoid it. But before we do that, a little shameless, not self-promotion, self-advertising. Not even self-advertising. It's merch, people. It's holiday season. Although, hey, it's December 18th. We're like 1 week from Christmas. I don't know what month it is anymore. I walk outside. This is not like I'm trying to flex the weather here. I don't know what day of the week it is anymore. I just know when it's not a weekday. And then sometimes not even then. I don't know what month it is anymore because every day is the same weather-wise. It's like, it feels like the summer in Canada, but it's December, which means it's Christmas time and Hanukkah time. And Justin Trudeau's taking to Twitter to thank us, to wish us all a happy Hanukkah. The shirt, politics ruins everything. Or if you're a politician, confession through projection is another good one. If you want to get a shirt, vivafry.com, and it's all good. It's all good stuff. Francis Chartrand, we're going to do it. We're going to get into it. We've been exchanging in a respectful manner on Twitter. We'll get into it for a little bit until Barnes gets here. Let me read this. Francis Chartrand, who I know is sincere in disagreement, not a troll like some of those jackaninnies on my Twitter feed that hang around to post the dumbest takes on anything. I know Francis Chartrand is sincere in his beliefs. Your takes on Taylor Lorenz, she is not a great human. How we treat her reflects on us. We failed. No one, including you, asked the right questions. Props to Eric Weinstein for getting it right. I'm going to go ahead, Francis, and say that you're wrong, respectfully. Because it's not, we don't have to start all discussions from scratch when they come to be. Elon Musk has been running into a little flack on Twitter in terms of whether or not he's banning people properly, whether or not the rules make any sense. And this predates Taylor Lorenz getting allegedly temporarily suspended for doxing. Elon Musk comes out and says, do I let the people who I banned for doxing, the people who doxed my current location, do I let them on now or a week? And I said, which is the right response, I need to see the evidence that allows you to say that they doxed you. Doxing is a conclusion of law. It's like that's what you come to as a conclusion after seeing the evidence of this is the tweet. Elon is going to be here at whatever time. Doxing is a characterization. I need to see the evidence. I said, look, it's nice that you call it doxing. If you're asking me to say whether or not they should be brought back on the platform, I'd need to see if they were in fact doxing you, if it was legitimate. Trust but verify. And then we can come to a decision. When Taylor Lorenz got banned, what did I say? I see Barnes is in the background, so I'm not going to go on for much longer. Let me, here we go. I said it's unclear that what Taylor Lorenz did to justify, this is one subsequent follow-up. It's unclear what Taylor did to warrant this suspension, but don't lie and pretend that she did nothing wrong. Given her propensity for doxing, one can reasonably to think that maybe she did it again with Elon Musk, but I'd like to see it. I'm not for anybody getting banned. And just saying that she doxed someone, even from Elon, good, let's see it. And I said it before, clarity, transparency. If you're going to have a big suspension, you'd better preemptively get your evidence up there. When was it that, the Trump raid, and then we're going to get Barnes in here. When you know that you're about to raid the president or a former president's house, you have your answer, if not timed immediately, to come right after. You don't wait 24 to 48 hours to let people's imaginations run wild. Even if it's Taylor Lorenz, you ban her, you better have the evidence to show it so that she doesn't get to run around pretending to be the victim. Everybody's covering their own butts. My take from the very beginning, I'd like to see the evidence to make sure it's a legitimate ban, in my humble opinion, not just Elon saying it's doxing if everyone else out there thinks it isn't. I think in certain cases we can understand that it was. And that's it. But Elon's taking some flack. All right, Barnes is in the house, people. We'll talk about this more tomorrow when I have on the Norwegian artist who's being investigated, facing jail time for saying men can't be lesbians. Who would have thunk? Robert, get ready, sir. Boom shakalaka. This is going to be our last live of the season, Robert. How goes the battle?
Yeah, last live stream of 2022. Because next Sunday, of course, is Christmas, so no show. And then the Sunday after that, I believe, is New Year's. So no show then. And our first show will be the second Sunday in 2023. So this will be the last one for a couple of weeks. But we got a packed show with a lot of stuff.
And I'll just say, everybody, I might go live just, like we might do something informal, but it will not be the Viva Barnes Sunday night show. So don't be disappointed and don't think anything happened. Yeah, Robert, we got a packed show because we didn't get a lot of stuff left over from last week. But what do we have for tonight? And then let's get into it.
Sure. So we have the Florida vaccine grand jury, statewide grand jury request petition filed to the Florida Supreme Court by Governor DeSantis. We have the 1-6 committee threatening to make a referral for multiple criminal prosecutions and indictments against Donald John Trump. We have the Kennedy file, JFK files, a little bit of a partial release, and Tucker Carlson's very prominent statement and Robert Kennedy's statement in support of it. We have Trump's big proposal on big tech that was partially overshadowed by his NFTs. We have an Oregon gun law that's in litigation. We have all kinds of vaccine cases. The number one case everybody's interested in is the update on the Arizona election contest. We'll get to that in just a bit. The second set of cases was all the vaccine cases on the locals poll at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. was a range of vaccine cases, not only the Florida grand jury case, but the Nike vaccine mandate class action, the University of Virginia First Amendment class action, the military mandate getting overturned by Congress. That appears that Biden was actually going to go ahead and sign it after saying he wouldn't. We have the win for trans participation in girls' sports at the Second Circuit. We have a win for being able to sue foreign banks also at the Second Circuit. We got Nazi art back in litigation that exposes the OSS, the CIA, the New York Met, the Astor family, a range of interesting people, and some Greek famous billionaire shipyard magnates, or shipping magnates, I should say. Doxing, whether that is a right of the press, as has been raised in the case of Elon Musk and in the case of Doxer in Chief. Scuzzball in chief, Taylor Lorenz, currently facing a righteous lawsuit from Ariana Jacob. Yep. We have abortion charges in Nebraska. Is a fetus a person? We have Brooke Jackson. I have an update on the Brooke Jackson. We had a court hearing this week on the Brooke Jackson Pfizer case. We had a court hearing this week on the Amos Miller case. We got COVID insurance lawsuits, sports styles. And we got a bunch of stuff up at SCOTUS. Free speech, is immigration promotion or also protected by free speech, or is it a crime? Can the IRS just ransack your records without you knowing about it? What's up with this whole $600? Now they're going to start tracking everybody down for $601 transfers on PayPal. We have nativity scene lawsuits, crypto class actions, SBF begging to be released from Bahamian jail, and extradition issues and bail issues. We have Biden's gender cases going up through the court system. We got Hertz settling its attempts to mislabel people overstaying their rental as stolen cars when it was often Hertz administrative errors. We have the rights to religious expression at graduation, the rights to Catholic schools to limit gender identification protocols in Michigan. We got the Nixium case, Ranieri's case, went to the Second Circuit. When is a cult a crime? That was the question before the Second Circuit in substantial part. And we got Rumble suing the state of New York. We got expert witnesses. We got the rights to felons to sit on jurors. So we got a lot of fun cases. We'll see how many we get to, given it might go a little bit long for this special edition episode, holiday season episode, before we go off the air for a couple of weeks.
And listen, we're gonna take it to Rumble right now just to save some bad breaking. So
praise be to Lionel Messi. Praise be to Lionel Messi. While we're still on YouTube, pray Lionel Messi wins the World Cup. That's why all the white and blue in honor of the great Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Vida Perón. The great win by the greatest player, the maestro, the little magician, the little flea to ever play the game. And of course, if you're a member of sportspicks.locals.com, you made money this morning as well. But great to see the great one go off in such great style.
By the skin of your teeth, you made money. That penalty kick to France. I mean, that really looked like it was. I don't know. I don't follow enough soccer to know if it looked like they were trying to, equalize the game, but it was a nail biter. Ending on YouTube. The link to Rumble is in the pinned comment. I'll put it one more time before we do this. Right there. We're going to end on Rumble and end on YouTube. Go to Rumble. 3, 2, 1.